Good day. Here's episode 10 of Hat Talks with Ach, titled The Garbage Processor. Don't think. How often in our daily conversations and interactions regarding people or situations or knowledge have we heard the following? I think, I thought, I'm sure. I say stop with the thinking. With friends, family, and colleagues alike, we hear, they ignored me. They didn't acknowledge my greeting or smile back. They didn't like what I said. And we start reasoning for their reactions. I think, I'm sure, it must be this, it must be that or the other, and based on their own thinking. So stop thinking. There is plenty of unhappiness, discontent, disillusionment already around us. And then these thoughts that are seeded into the brain, and which, while being a wonderful organ of creativity, is also the best garbage processor, GP for short, that one can find. This organ in GP mode is like a slow speed durable kitchen mixer that needs just a little material, basically a negative thought, to begin mixing and then churning and then grinding it continuously to produce a fine product of disturbing thoughts in one's fertile mind. During this grinding and processing, the mind is now filling up with all the negative thoughts that in actual fact never crossed the other person's mind. For example, 1. You walk into your office, wish and smile at a colleague who does not respond. GP starts the process. They're ignoring you. There's a rumor about you. You left early yesterday and they had to work extra. You said this or that, and so on. Reality? The colleague was preoccupied with thoughts of their child who was unwell, or some unpleasantness with the spouse when they left home, or an unpleasant experience on their way to work, or this, or that, or. Example 2. You pass by a friend who's more than an acquaintance in a cafe, a club, or a public space, and do not notice them. GP, was just waiting to pounce on this thought and will not rest. And so the thoughts. Oh, they think they're superior. They ignore you when they're with important people. I always knew they were like that. They are show-offs. What do they think? And so on. The reality? The friend looked but did not see or notice them. It happens often that when one is preoccupied with an event, let's say of a golfer missing an easy birdie putt on the previous hole, which is a huge event for them, their brain is reconstructing the swing, the feel, and the stroke of the putter. Or perhaps a phone call was received with some troubling news. How often we look, but the brain does not print that image as it is busy with an event. But now the GP was fed some fuel material and the churn begins. Example 3. A colleague at work approaches a team leader with a doubt and gets a cold shoulder and a public dressing down for no reason that they can comprehend. Food for GP once again. And so negative thoughts proliferate. Yesterday you said that. They took it wrong. They don't like you. Perhaps you should look for another job, and so on. Reality, the leader was under pressure from their bosses on targets not achieved, on numerous impractical new thoughts that they wanted implemented in the next few days. But the GP will not let one rest, and all the material will be carried in the head of the affected for the next few days, ruining one's lives for themselves. Similarly, there are examples within a family wherein negative thoughts germinate and are fed to the GP to work on. As a people watcher and during my years as a leader, whenever I came across situations like this, I always brought it up in general meetings while addressing all, while referring to, in Tamil, the kuppai mixer. I would say, stop, don't think, act. Walk up to the person and ask them, why? Why they ignored you? Why were you fired unjustly in public? Why the spouse was irritated in the morning when you departed for work? And then listen to them when they speak and accept what they say. Fight the GP who will try to contradict every reason with other thoughts. It was tough in the beginning for people to practice. However, they discovered later that it worked well. The GP is indeed the devil incarnate. About 20 years ago, a friend, Sudhir Rao, who's also a listener, mentioned to me that for him, every morning is the start of a new page in the book of life. He forgets about the yesterday happenings and starts anew. This thought remained with me, and I've followed this and spread this philosophy wherever I've had people influence and can say it works. Thank you, Sudhir, for that thought. A physical hug is also therapeutic and tested with children, the spouse, good friends, as well as at work if permitted. A good morning and a good night hug also does the job of erasure of negativity without words and starting afresh. So when you're thinking why the kids or friends have not called for long, before your GP gets involved, you call them. When a neighbor who is close has not visited for long, before GP gets in, go visit them, and so on. Stop thinking why, how, and what might be the reason, because GP does not know. Call, meet, and ask directly, and clarity will be offered which will conflict GP's inputs. 90% of the time, there will be a good reason that would challenge the reasoning of the GP, and a simple apology, irrespective of hierarchy, resets ties immediately. So I would say, if you're a leader or a part of a family and notice signs of discomfort among team members and suspect GP play, step in, discover, and suggest direct confrontation with the causer. Clarity will appear with immediate forgiveness, and the mental balance for all is restored. The hug therapy generally works across humans. An apology from either party is very effective with family, friends, and especially from leaders to team members. Finally, start every morning afresh as a new page of life with no scribbles on it and with a smile as well as we process each day happier. The above are personal experiences and learnings from personal experiments, as well as positive feedback from those who tried it in work environments or with their families away from work. Beware the GP's influence in causing you discomfort and unhappiness, and control it as explained. As Hat Talks with Ach progresses, look out for interviews and discussions with some of the listeners who offer feedback and have interesting stories to share. Till the next episode, while you remember to like, share, and subscribe, this is Captain Jun with Hugs to All signing off.